Okay, Swim. You've been here before. You know the drill. Tell me,
Yeah.
please enlighten me and all our viewers.
Which leader did we see again there? I wasn't.
We saw Brobber.
Okay. Let's go back a second. Oh man, wow, Manti, that's a decent rank. It would be a shame if something were to happen to it.
Oh my god.
So
Okay.
let's go ahead and kick our first light here. Since it's not weather and we have Merc, we don't really need it. And we can go ahead and kick a probably kick a Mahakam guard here.
Okay.
And then we can pass the third mulligan because we have 2 witchers left and we don't want to draw. Now we lost the coin flip. That's gonna suck. We're gonna open with our Hawker Smuggler in the melee row. This is it's pretty standard
just for you,
procedure.
love.
Hawker Smuggler first so it can grow big and strong like me.
Or so it can eat thunder. Either way works.
true,
Either way
that's true.
works.
That's true. Okay. Let's get some witchers on the board. Let's see what happens.
Not much
Now we
left
can play the
of
witchers
that
or the
world.
defender here. It doesn't so much matter. I mean, what's probably gonna happen? Oh, okay. So he's using a more all-in Dorfs deck maybe, or just some hybridized control deck. Okay, okay. Let's go ahead and throw down our first Mahakam defender. Now this will get hit for at least 3 damage, probably 4. It'll probably die. Let's see. There's 3. Okay, okay.
Every time I play Mahakam Defender, it comes to my mind. Survive.
Okay, okay. Let's play the other Mahakam defender. Yeah, just get it right up. This looks good. So we're looking to. This is basic sequencing. He's not really threatening anything, right? So he'll choose between. Yeah, he'll kill that one now. That's fine. He's killing them very slowly, and we can develop faster than he kills them. So we can play Elven Mercenary at this point, I think.
Everything all right?
And we'll rally here, of course.
Everything all right?
And we'll buff the Mahakam defender. Now this does put it in Igni or Scorch range, and this deck is known for having Igni or Scorch. So that's gonna be 1 more defender down. That's okay. We still have the tools in this hand to kind of equalize the situation. We've got Yavin and we still have a board full of tempo cards. So we can go ahead and play Yavin in the back row now. Yavin in this deck can generate really ridiculous power levels exponentially, like snowballing. I mean, it's not actually exponential, but colloquially exponentially. So we can capitalize off that by playing Yavin and gaining
Let's
card
enjoy the weather
advantage
while we
without
still
having
can.
to care too much about the 11 points we just gave him.
Okay. Okay. So that's actually a very good point. I like that explanation a lot. Now he's playing dragoons, because it tells me that he probably has either a trapper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So go ahead and play the Hawker healer here, I suppose. It's a little awkward that we are given no cleaver targets, because I would like to cleaver something, but he's not really giving us a win. So now, check this out. Right now, because we use the Yavin and okay, hang on. So look at this. Take a moment. Because we used the Yavin and because we generated so much tempo so quickly, we were actually able to get ahead of him at the start of our turn with 1 card up, which means theoretically, if we were to pass, we'd force a 2-card advantage despite the fact that we lost the coin flip and had to go first, and that is truly ridiculous.
That is insane,
However,
actually. Yeah.
however, we might be looking to get a little more out of this. Forcing a higher level card is good too. I think a good play is to use Ithne on the Hawker healer at this point.
Humans
We're not looking for like a really important Ithne target here. Ithne against monsters is important to save it against Avalak. Against Northern Realms, it can be very important to save it to try to kill the Bork if you have a way to do so with Ithne. But it's fine to just use it here in this matchup. It is most commonly just a Hawker healer on a stick, but it's not about card power. Isn't about what's common. It's about what's necessary, and when it's really necessary at carrying the game, it does so. Interesting. So that'll be a CRN or a true reveal, and if it's a true reveal, he's gaining what 14 value from it. so he still needs to play 1 card into us. At this point, we pass, basically. Because what we're looking at here is a 2 reveal. So it's a 2 reveal, so we generated the same situation last turn. Like if you look at the comparison between last turn and this turn, we played Hawker Healer, and well we played Ithany for Hawker Healer, and he played Brewer for 2 reveal, and that's totally fine. Like that's not a bad trade, and just the fact that we didn't know if it was CR or not meant we were kind of inclined to pass. But it's still fine. We're 2 cards up after losing the coin flip. If we lose this game, it's probably because we lost that coin flip. But losing the coin flip is such a big deal, and being able to maintain card advantage despite that is really important. Now that's interesting. So he's allowing us to throw away whatever card we want. The least important card of this hand has got to be Cleaver. So we just go ahead and throw it on Cleaver now.
Not gob flopping.
There we go ahead and pass. I don't expect to hit any Cleaver targets against his deck. I don't expect to at all. If I would have expected to, I would have played Hawker Healer instead. But this is fine. So we want to open non-committally with Mahakam Defender. It's a slightly awkward drawing it here. We would have much preferred to draw an Elven Mercenary or perhaps one of our golds. Aglaeus in particular is very powerful, but this is fine.
I gotta give you huge props, dude. Huge props, because you actually had a lot of self-restraint and you didn't go for the Commander's Horn on turn 1, which a lot of people would have done.
Okay, so he damaged it without killing it. That's interesting. So here's what we're gonna do. So check this out. So we're afraid of our defender. We want to keep it alive. There's not a super good way to do that, but we have a very good way. So we're gonna rally, and if it hits a healer, it'll keep it alive, but we'd prefer an Elven Merc. If the Elven Merc hits Alzur's
Everything
Thunder,
alright?
it denies a Blue Mountain Commando on that Skirmisher, and if it hits a First Light, it'll just hit either the healer or another Merc, and it'll be even
The
better.
storm is
Now
coming.
that's kind of
Let's
unfortunate. We
enjoy
would
the
have
weather
preferred the
while we
First
still
Light for
can.
sure, but
Death
we did get the
awaits us
Alders,
all.
and there it is.
But we denied it.
Denied. Yep, that's important. So at this point, we can go ahead and play our Hawker Healer. There's no
We ought to help one
point
or
in
the
using
other.
Triss to snipe any individual card here because they are both
Relentless.
not. Yeah, I don't really know why they
Venom
don't just
should
make
do
the
the
Blue
trick.
Mountain Commander relentless. That card should basically be relentless.
What? Okay.
Okay, this is fine. So he's still got a super buffed card. What we're gonna go ahead and do here is we're gonna play Triss Marigold on the Moran. And
I'll
the
do what
reason
I
we're
can.
using on the Moran is because we want Saskia to continue generating value, and we also want to play her for later. If we use that on one of the other 2, Saskia would lose 1 value for no reason. We also want to play Commander's Horn reasonably later because... Oh, this guy is using that deck all wrong. What the fuck?
I think he's buffing the wrong target.
we want to use Commander's Horn a bit later because we don't want something erasing a buff. So we're going to go ahead and use Saskia at this point. Like, at this point, if his last card is a unit, we're losing 1 damage potential from Saskia, but if his last card is like a D-bomb or a Weather or something, we're losing much more damage potential out of Commander's Horn.
And what was that? That 16-point swing, right?
Yeah, there's the
Oh,
D-bomb.
thank you,
Now,
bro.
and now we get a 20-point Commander's Horn. Well, no, if it's Weather too. Monsters in
Really?
general, yes. Weather does nothing against this deck. It seems like it would, but it really doesn't. Okay, so we've got 2 marks. Since we have 2 marks, we're gonna go ahead and we can kick the First Light here, because we've got 2 marks and marks basically equal First Lights. If I had 1 mark, I would maybe consider that. We're gonna go ahead and kick one of our Witchers here, because we might draw a 3rd one. And my policy is that my policy in general is that when we blacklist one of our Witchers earlier, I can go for the 3rd mulligan, but there's nothing I really want to mulligan here. Like, we've got our Yavin, we've got our gold cards, we've got basically everything we want. You can go ahead and pass here. Yep.
Yeah, that's actually this hand I really like.
If we didn't have Yavin, or maybe like something good like Aglaeus, I would maybe be inclined to mulligan the Hawker Smuggler. Now we lost the coin flip again, and that's going to be a little unfortunate. Very unfortunate given monsters, but we have potential for 2 spies. We've got Decoy and the Ithne on the Yavin and the Ithne on the Avalak. So let's go ahead and play Hawker Smuggler melee row again. Pretty standard
Special
opening. It's
prize,
not a
just for you,
very
love.
technically complicated deck. By which I mean, it's pretty brain dead. Like you can, there's sequencing and there is nuance, but it is definitely very simple compared to a lot of other decks.
Let me tell you something about the smuggler. Her activation goes before a rider. So
Yes.
as a monster player, feels bad, man. Yeah.
Yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and just snipe that off the bat with Yorveth. Yorveth is just gonna bring that down, play him on the melee route. And we're playing him on the melee route because if he ever were to get D-bombed or D-shackled, he just becomes another buff target.
Okay.
It's pretty funny.
Oh, that's actually pretty good. We actually usually talked about this before, and we talk about putting goals different rows.
Yeah. Yeah, it is gonna depend a little on the situation, but he's totally fine. Now, since we go first, the important thing about the tempo of going first is you need to make sure that after each of your plays, you're ahead of their score. That being said, not a problem in this scenario. We're way ahead of their score. We can go ahead. We can play Witchers here. He wouldn't pass off the Witchers.
Waiting a long time for
We're a
this.
little vulnerable to a pass now, but at the same time, he's not getting an amazing. He's not getting a good carryover with his monster's passive. And there. Okay, so he wants the Frost. Now this is very dangerous territory, right?
Mhm.
So there's 2 things to note about this scenario. We're vulnerable to a Lacerate. We're vulnerable to Wild Hunt Riders a little bit. We're vulnerable to Imlereth. And additionally, the second thing is that if we try to use our Hawker Healer or Commander's Horn here, he could actually get a very good Igni, right? Because we
Mhm.
don't have our Mahakam Guard. Now, the Mahakam Guard is very important. The Mahakam Guard is the 4 strength one. He's frost immune, which means that if you have the Mahakam Guard in the weather matchup, it means you can Hawker Healer and Commander's Horn, and still he can protect from Igni because he's frost immune. Anyway, we're gonna use Merc, and we're gonna go ahead and take off that Frost. It should hit a first light, but you know,
Have
maybe it doesn't.
strength, my
Who knows?
love.
Yeah, so we cleared it.
I would say calculated.
Yeah, those weren't great odds. Like usually first light has better odds than that because usually you will have either Thunder or Commander's Horn in hand, but those were 3 out of 5 odds. Now Commander's Horn wouldn't have been terrible because it would have only been vulnerable to Igni, but Alzer's would have been pretty awkward. So this is interesting. We have kind of 2 options. Well, we've got kind of 3 options. We could Merc. This time our odds are even lower. We're looking at 50-50 odds for the first light. Although again, the Commander's Horn's not bad, so I think it's fair to call it 3/4 odds. Alzer's Thunder would be very bad to pull here. We could Aglaeus for that reliability on the clear skies, or we could Hawker Healer with non-committal reliability while still, I mean, it's vulnerable to Igni, but you know, what are the odds of that? I think we can go ahead and, since we went first, I think it's important that we win this. I think we can go ahead and Hawker Healer.
Oh,
This is a difficult situation. It's very awkward not having Alz's Thunder, and particularly not having a great Alz's Thunder Turk. This doesn't usually happen against the weather. Normally you find yourself in a more comfortable situation. Now, if he has a Wild Hunt Rider, he's probably going to ping that Hawker.
Resistance is futile.
There it is.
And she just saved us from Digny now.
I mean, well, actually, she was saving us from Igni the entire time. I forgot about that. If Igni's played, she gets buffed before he goes off.
Oh, that's
That was-
right.
yes,
Oh, dude,
that
that
was
is
a-
awesome, actually.
Yeah, that was a misstep in my memory.
Yeah, that's also why you're the guest and I'm the host right here, dude. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Okay. So now we want to slow it down a little bit. Actually, we want to go ahead and stall this game a little bit. Why don't you go ahead and play Yavin on his melee row at this point? I like the sound of that. At this point, again, like I said, you want to stay ahead of him at every point, and we just got to the point where we can play even while staying ahead of him. We drew a Commander's Horn, which is a good draw, because you can't necessarily guarantee getting that without the marks. I mean, at its core, you have to realize this deck isn't so much about Dorfs as it is about row stacking, and Dorfs are a very good help to that row stacking. There's the Lacerate, neutralizing that Hawker healer's effectiveness. It's kind of weird that he bothered using Wild Hunt Rider before that and then decided to Lacerate anyway, but that's cool. He did a lot of damage there, though. And we're going to want to neutralize that damage. We do want to stay ahead of him. Hitting first light is now a 2/3 chance, and we do have a better Alzur's target. We are at least getting 7 value out of the Alzurs, even if we hit the Alzurs. In addition, Rally isn't great. I think this isn't greedy at all, but I think we can go ahead and Commander's Horn here, honestly. I don't think there's anything wrong with this Commander's Horn. We're protecting our units, we're playing it safe, we're generating 25 value. Commander's Horn, as you can see, is kind of a ridiculous card. Like, just the fact that you only need to hit 2 units to get kind of expected silver value is a little too strong. That card should probably be reduced to 4.
I actually, yeah, we were having this conversation and people were saying that they called it the Commander's Horn nerf, and I say that is misleading because it actually is just a Commander's Horn adaptation. It works differently.
Okay, there we go. So look at this. Yeah, go ahead and pass. So this is great. Check this out. We had to go first. We lost the coin flip and we still won the round on even cards. That's ridiculous, right? Like, we, through the combination of tempo and Gavin, like, we were able to pump out tempo so fast that we could just sit there and draw a card, and then he passes and we just win anyway. And that's great. And we've got everything we want. Like, check this out. We do some Dwarfs. We've got a Glaze for the Commander and letter. Mahakam Defender here is the play. And hopefully he doesn't kill it. If he does, it's kind of a no biggie. They have a very hard time dealing 4 damage as Weather Mosses. Now, they can deal 3 with Imlerith. They can deal 1 with a lot of things. But 4 in a single turn is basically not
impossible, dude. Impossible.
Yeah. And that's exactly why this matchup is so favorable for you. I mean, it's surprisingly, to many people, a very favorable matchup for me with the Dwarfs. Like, it's just hard for the Weather Monsters to do much of anything against this. Go ahead and play the Mahakam Guard here. Looking solid. The Mercs, so obviously, the core tenets of this deck is you want to play Hawker Healers late, right? Like, you want to row stack and then play your Hawker Healers and then play your Commander's Horn, basically. Something like that. The Mercs are kind of an intermediary between the normal cards and Hawker Healers, because you're going to rally with them and they can be both. Why don't you go ahead and play your Merc here in the melee round, see what you hit.
The storm is coming.
Thunder the
Let's enjoy the weather
Ancient
while we still
Foglet, or
can.
go ahead and rally for something else. Hopefully another Merc. That's fine. That's a very good thing to hit as well. We want to get ahead of him. Here's the thing about Weather Monsters. This deck functions around controlling tempo. Here's the thing about Weather Monsters. You can never get ahead enough from Weather Monsters to the point where you can pass and they have to play 2 cards into you, because weather is such a swingy mechanic fundamentally. They can basically always beat you with a single card, right? Like, Karen Thayer will do a really just truly ridiculous amount of swing, like, no matter how high your score is. But that being said, you still want to get to that point where you can pass and they force them to play 1 whole card into you. Ooh, that's actually pretty strong. Now he's deciding whether he wants Wolves or Foglets. If he uses it on Foglets, that's a tell he has weather, right? He has Frost if he uses it on Foglets. He should use it on Foglets here. There it is. Okay, that's interesting. That's very interesting.
Yeah, I think he does have Frost. He might have Karen Thayer or a duo Frost.
Frost would be okay. Frost would be fine. I think we might actually want to use Aglaeus to clear the fog. That's kind of weird. I mean, Commander's Horn generates more value. We don't care about buffing our dwarfs. We don't care about the strength in the next round. Why don't you just go ahead and play Saskia here? Just play Saskia.
Let's play Saskia. Okay, here we
Yeah.
go. Look at this win, okay?
Basically, like, we don't care how buff these dwarfs get. We don't care about their strength going to the next round. Our only goal here is to get ahead of him. Like, look at his points, look at our points. We just want to break his points. We want to force him into a situation where we can pass and he has to play an entire card into us. And there's a Skellige Storm. Wow. He's stalling at this point. He's kind of letting us catch up even. That's interesting. And we can always Ithne on the Saskia. Now this is generally a questionable play because Hawker healers are much better, but we don't have any Hawker healers. Eglaeus isn't usable anymore, and it is important to note that, like, you know, Squirtle did lose an Ithne target with Eglaeus, but they gained one with Saskia. The Saskia will hit for, what is that, 11? That's not terrible. That's a fine leader ability, and it'll buff the dwarfs permanently. I think it's. We want to hold off on playing Eglaeus, actually. We do want to hold off on playing Eglaeus. Why don't we go ahead and Triss the Ancient Foglet? The Ancient Foglet is the one staying here in this case. We're stalling. We have card advantage, so we can stall. If he frosts, then we can clear Sky's melee with Eglaeus. It is also important to note that, like, he could have 2 more frosts. He could have, like, say, Caranthir and White Frost. Ooh.
That's something I was expecting this.
Now, his last card, it can't really be a Wild Hunt Warrior, honestly. It can't be. That's interesting. Well, we want to carry over Eglaeus into the last round, so why don't we go ahead and Ithne that Saskia now? It'll force out his last card. I mean, we've basically won this already, right?
There will
like,
be
if
no
you win round 1 on
negotiation.
even cards, it's GG, period. Because you can just do this. Like, he forces out his last card. Either we beat him with Eglaeus, or, which is probable, but even if we don't, we go to next round.
With Eglaeus on hand.
Yeah, exactly. And these Mahakam defenders are, one in the Siege row is still gonna be an 11. These defenders are really icing on the cake. Like, yeah, and that doesn't do enough. We can Commander's Horn here for the win, or we can clear the ranged fog as well. Take your pick.
Lie still.
Alright,
Not
so-
yet recovered.
Commander's Horn it is.
Yeah, always go with the 2, man. That's
Dude,
what I say.
dude, it's about an alpha play, you know? You just gotta show, dude.
Deny this guy his dailies. Like, look at that, and look at how sad he is. He woke up early in the morning. He's like, I gotta get my dailies done. Ooh, that's a lot of weather.
I wish this was poker.
So that was Dagon, correct?
Yes,
If I saw that
we've
correctly. Okay.
yeah, Dagon. But no, he made a mistake, dude. It's not premium Dagon, so we're advantage here.
This is awkward. Kick one of the first light. Kick one of the Witchers at this point. Let's see if we get the third one. We didn't. So we're gonna go ahead and kick the other first light here. Because we blacklist one of the Witchers, so the odds of us drawing the third one are just really low.
There'll be nothing to pick up when I'm done with you.
Jennifer Conjurer and
The anti-counter for Jennifer.
No. We've got a bigger anti-counter method.
Really?
Go ahead and Yorva that. Yeah, like a normal person.
Okay, well, like, wow, okay. And once again, let me get if I get this right. Melee.
Yeah. Always melee, dude.
You're like a normal person, I like that.
We can go ahead and Hawker Smuggler here in the melee round.
Got business for me?
Wow. One weather down already.
Something
Now that's interesting.
actually
smells like Ard.
no. This smells like power crowns. I'm sorry, we did this. I think
Wait, what?
I think that the next play is going to be crowns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could be. We didn't go first though, so we don't have to stay ahead of him, so it's fine. We can now there's nothing for us to lock. I think Witchers are a solid play here. We can just pull out the Witchers now.
A bit of
Because
respect.
Mark could
He's
hit
not
something
talking
that
to
buffs. It
Geralt.
could hit Rally into Hawk or Healer, or you know if we didn't have a Menace Run in hand, it could hit those. So you generally want a Witchers before Marks. No, that's interesting. It's another target to hit. So we can go ahead and cleaver that.
Snitches get stitches.
Yep, that's fine. We're just stacking rows while keeping a strength. The strength is quite low. He can still beat us with boss. That's fine.
Oh,
That's
actually
totally
pretty,
good.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
So yeah, check it out. Again, we won for 0 cards, and he carries over a literal 1 strength ancient fog with no effect. Wait, well, it'll be 1 strength as soon as he weathers again, which he kind of has to do. He can't not weather, so it's basically 1 strength. Yep, and letting the opponent go first is important. Now here's something that a lot of people don't realize, Matty.
Mm-hmm.
The Scoia'tael faction ability to gain card advantage, it has synergy with winning round 1. Because using it on round 2 is better than using it on round 3, right?
Yeah, look,
The
let me tell you
earlier-
something. Going
'cause-
first the entire game, it's terrible.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. This is fun. So we can get ahead of him here. Let's go ahead and Alvin Merc. It'll first light. Hopefully pull a Mohawking
Have
Defender.
strength,
We've got
my love.
50-50 odds on it. You know.
Look, I'm going to roll the dice. I'm really good at this. Ah,
We ought to help one
cut,
or the other.
cut, retake this. We're gonna have to retake this entire thing, dude. Alright.
Now, you'll note the one awkward thing about this scenario is we drew too many spells going into round 2, so one of
Yeah.
these mercs is going to be dead. This is a very rare circumstance, but it you know, it is what it is. So we can go ahead and play a merc here. We can zap it next turn, don't worry.
Have strength, my love.
Yeah, but no, I actually like whenever examples like this come out because sometimes on the people show me on
Here's
the.
the Avalak.
Wow, I wasn't.
great.
Let me see.
And that's
As
that's
long as
alright
we don't get that
target.
spell, great. No, I prefer things like this because sometimes people are like, hey, look, sometimes I get awkward hands and everything, but I like to show this kind of hands so people have a way and know of how to fight them.
Yeah. Yeah, and you know, you said at least we didn't get a spell, but we had no spells left in our deck at that point.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, so we can go ahead and zap that Ancient Foglet now before it gets any bigger. So basically, we're looking to develop our board. We keep this last first light in hand. We're developing our board while staying ahead of him. We want to play all of our defenders, and we want to Ithne that Avalak. Let's go ahead and Ithne that Avalak now, honestly. Just to keep
There
our
will be
card
no
advantage
negotiation.
alive. Make it real.
Ooh.
Tris, that.
Ooh. Oh, but hang on.
We were looking for Aglaeus and Yavin, and we whiffed them, but it's fine. Looking at Frosty. See, this is the problem without having Aglaeus. We only have one more Clear Skies. He doesn't know we don't have Aglaeus, but we don't. So let's Clear Skies here. It's fine using it here on the Froster. Because, I mean, the thing is, like, we want to keep our units alive. It's our last one, but it's fine. Like, we have alternative solutions. If he weathers us again, we can still, like, Hawk or Healer and Commander's Horn to keep them out of kill range, which is still fine. And we still do have 1 guard. The reason we're clear skying here is because we've got this... that's unfortunate, but fine. So, our job here, just switch gears. So, you see his board, you see something that strikes you about his board. Basically, what we're looking to do here is stall to force him to play a card that's not Sarah. To force him to keep a card that's not Sarah. That's our goal, all of a sudden, while keeping our board alive. So we're gonna go ahead and play a Hawker Healer here. We gotta keep our board
We
out
ought
of
to help one or the
Lacerate,
other.
Walton Rider, Warrior, and Imlerth Rain. This is much better. So, yeah, that's fine. Go ahead and play another healer. Now, he's gonna Walton
Oh,
Warrior
that's
this time, probably killing the healer, and that's okay because then he has 1 less option. He'll
And once
probably do it.
again, once again, dude, having Commander Thorn and Saskia, it's like, oh wow, dude, it's so close.
So let's go ahead and Merc. So what this Merc is gonna do is it's gonna bait out his last Volatile Warrior. He's gonna have one more in his
strength, my
hand. We'll see if he has one more, but I expect he'll have one more in his hand, and then it'll bait out here because he wants to play non-committally. As you may have noticed, we have already forced out something that's not a Sarah, so we're good in that department. But we're still looking to keep the pressure on. We're still looking to, as always, get ahead of him. So it looks like he doesn't have one. If he doesn't have one, we're good to play this Mahakam Defender. Let's go ahead and do it. Now this is a play that's it's vulnerable to Imlerith. He could he could do some damage and kill 2 units, and it's all about the units in this deck. That's fine. Okay. Now this is a delicious Commander Thorn. Go ahead and gobble that up. Very vulnerable to Igni. We expect him to not have Igni, but if he does, like even if he does have Igni, like check it out. Like what does it matter? Like we go into the next round with a card up and 2 golds. We're totally fine. So we can go ahead and Saskia here. And we're forcing out his last card. And same as last game, we force out his last card. We've got the Triss if it wins us the game. If it doesn't, we'll still win the game off of it. We're carrying over this much strength. Now that says 17 strength, that's not, because it's weathered. That strength is more than 17. Yep. So it looks like we can in fact just win here with Triss.
Oh my goodness, dude. Let me tell you something. I seriously wasn't expecting this, dude. I really seriously wasn't expecting this. Look, I'm gonna make this personal. She made a nightmare of this, so there it is. This is your deck is awesome, dude. I've seen him play differently, but I'm actually learning with this session with you. Thank you so much for showing us this deck, dude. I really appreciate it. And you know, you're always welcome. If you have new tech, make sure to let us know.
You'll be the first to know.
All right, now any shoutouts?
My stream manager, Endon. He's a great guy. I couldn't have asked for a better manager. He made the graphics for my stream banner, etc.
Nice. Thank you for sharing this deck with us, and guys, see you next time.
It's been a pleasure.